into operating those ponds. They used to get treated with herbicide, and they used to have aerators in them. And so at the request of the bowling alley and the other property owners, we pulled all that out, and it really has become a beautiful natural area. So Mike can talk to you about the fish and turtles and geese and everything else that are in there, but
yeah, there's people that fish it. A lot of kids go there and fish it.
It just does. I mean, it just from if we talk about Waterford Village and having aesthetics. Just aesthetically, it looks like a mess when you go south.
We can do whatever you would like. My personal opinion is it's absolutely beautiful, and it's recovering with wildlife in a way that it would.
And I'm not against wildlife. I'm just for aesthetics. I mean, can't there be a balance?
We can refer the matter to the DPW committee. Okay.
I guess I got a few things on the same thing here.
Okay.
Boardwalk connecting Wadowitz to DPW.
Yes, sir. So we own.
Wadowitz is on the corner. DPW is on the other corner.
Yep. Right now, so this is about bike and pedestrian connectivity. So it'll be hard to see on this map, but the DPW building is right about here, and the DPW owns all this land back behind all those industrial businesses on W. So we own most of the swamp. Yeah, there used to be a road that went through there. Wadowitz is over here. So right now, if you're anywhere living within the village and you want to get to Wadowitz, your only choice is either deal with the traffic, get on W and bike over to it, or get in your car, which is what's going on right now. People literally load their bicycles in the back of their truck, drive to Wadowitz, take their bicycles out, and go ride around Wadowitz. So what we're discussing is a path to create connectivity really from that neighborhood, which also has connectivity to the rest of the village, behind DPW to get back to Wadowitz. There's a pathway that cuts down to our swamp from Wadowitz, and there's just no connecting point to the other side. So it's a quality of life amenity.
Okay, and
Zeke?
Yes, ma'am.
Linda again.
Sure.
Or Adam. I do have to excuse myself. I apologize, but if there's anything that I can do to help, just let me know.
Sure.
But I do have to go right now. I apologize.
All right. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Have a good night.
So I'm just going to note all of these were reviewed by the DPW committee. They all got approval to move ahead.
Greenhouse Nursery.
Yes, sir. So I think
$50,000
part of the conversation is like what committee does what, and I don't want to go too far off the rails with it, but like the technical and operating pieces of it should be the functional committees that oversee it. Finance should be looking at this and going, hey, we're gonna manage the borrowing, we're gonna manage the taxes, and this is how these projects need to sequence, right? Versus the merit of the project itself. That.
I'm not asking about the merit.
Yes, sir.
It's up to the board and
Yes, sir.
to decide what the.
I think good to be in the loop on all of it and understand what's going on and why it's there. But I'm just letting you know this has been looked at by another committee.
Speaking of greenhouse, was it a few years ago? Or were we talking to
I
Colado?
love you, Don Houston.
When they're done with their little love affair.
So greenhouse. There's a greenhouse sitting right on First Street,
Yes,
Colado's
sir.
property.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't part of the 10-year plan to possibly link up 10 Club Park with Woodford Park?
Yes, sir.
Has there been discussions with the Colado family about that?
Repeatedly, and they continue to tell us, thank you, we will let you know when we're interested.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's a greenhouse sitting right there.
Yeah.
And the county's got greenhouse, gives away trees and everything.
I think what we have in mind is a little bit different, and this is as laid out as I can lay it out. Every unutilized asset that is covered in grass, we are going to try to do something different to generate revenue for you. Every bit of the recommendation we're making is how do we take nothing and turn it into something. So we would like to talk about Christmas trees on village land. That'll be a conversation with the DPW committees. That's what this rolls around. We've got nothing that we can go to the public and say, hey, we're doing our best to utilize every asset that you have to its fullest capacity. When what we do is, in the past, buy a $20,000 lawnmower and pay somebody $18 an hour to mow the grass. I think we can do better than that. So that's
Get some goats. Put them on a roof.
little by little. So we've got a golf cart sprayer in 25, and then looking at a tree spade for 2026, so we can move trees around. There's several times we have to cut a tree down, and we could move it somewhere else, but we don't. HAVAC for the library, it's 400 grand in HAVAC, another 350,000 for the roof, so we're looking at 750,000 for library HAVAC and roof. And then you've got a server that needs to be upgraded in Village Hall. The last one is that the 2.42 million is East Main Street. So to talk about your borrowing capacity for a minute, to do all of those projects, and in particular East Main, because that's the big one, you've got a contemplated borrowing of 3.9 million. That is the shooting match. That is all the money you get to borrow between now and 2045 without raising taxes. So no fire trucks, no other things, no new snowplow trucks.
We have to, because you have to get a new fire truck every 10 years for the
So
insurance rating.
you all as elected and appointed officials should begin having conversations with your constituents to explain that there is no more room at the well for us to.
This is why we need to look at monopoly.
Right. This is why we're talking about tree spades, right? Anything we can do to turn revenue at the staff level, we're now talking about.
You're talking about $200,000 in park improvements to go along with the fire truck.
Well, I hear
Fire
you.
truck's $1 million.
Okay.
Hopefully, everyone will laugh at this comment, but hopefully the leaders can come back to the table for the 3,000th time and try to say, how about all those pretty fire trucks in that 4th of July parade? We come together and work together.
That'd
And
be
then we don't
nice.
have to go tell our constituents, we can't give you nice things anymore because we all need to have brand new fire trucks. So we'll try this again. Myself, Tim, and all the elected leaders will have a conversation and see if that goes nowhere. We'll try again.
We have to. We need a
Thank
fire
you.
district.
Correct.
Is
And that's
it-
where the chuckle will come that it's not going to happen, but we
Well,
will go to the table.
We've been down this road so many times. What's
Correct.
this new county executive? I haven't met him. What's his? Because I know Jonathan kind of stayed away from the fire district.
You met him?
I'll be honest,
We should ask
as Adam's
Jerry.
saying, at least my years here, every year was getting closer to getting things done.
So that's what I'm saying. We'll
I
keep
think every year's getting things.
keep having
getting
the
closer.
conversations.
We get a fire district that saves taxpayers and all the communities a ton of money.
Andy, there was,
I think if
Jonathan
we-
had a fantastic plan with the EMS district. It was all set up. It was all figured out a way to pay for it. And
Jonathan's not here anymore.
Jonathan's not here anymore, and I'm not gonna go any further.
County
It
executive.
all kind of fell apart. Lack of,
Leadership.
Andy,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
getting
It's
told
just-
at the police meeting that the county wants to come up with a formula to charge all of us for dispatch, and it's like
Well, they've been doing that for years. So
County Executive Malecki is a good man. He's new to his position. We're going to give him time and respect in that position, and he has himself a lot of things on his plate.
I'm sure.
That us as county residents, the average county resident probably doesn't understand that Racine County's got a lot on his plate, and he's got to process a lot, and he's going to do his best, and all the other municipal leaders are going to try to come up with solutions with him. None of them are going to be easy, but to Don's point, we'll continue to have conversations as neighboring communities, and I just want to say this, and I think everybody is probably aware of it, and if not, then this is a good learning tool. Most every other community is working with the same type of situations we're working at when we look at this budget. We are not this lone star out here in the galaxy. It's only dealing with trying to figure all this out and see where we can pull revenue from and trying to do things outside the box. To be very frank, people out in public may say it's not accurate. These numbers are way better than a lot of our neighbors.
Oh, because we've actually been.
Big time.
Yeah.
And that's not saying them versus us or this that. I'm just saying that we really are trying to do the best we can with what
We
we have.
positioned ourselves very well with our
Correct,
growth.
and we've told the line under President Houston's leadership and all of us on the board to remain flat with taxes, and we all are aware that has to change. I mean, it just does.
You gotta keep
Looking
up
at
with
this,
inflation.
you have $750,000 just worth of two items that need to be done to our library. We would all be doing the same to our individual homes after 25 years of age.
Yeah.
That is our community's home.
We need some hail.
Maybe you'll get some tonight. I don't know, but just saying that we will keep doing the things that we're doing. But there's a lot out there.
In my
So I got a
agency,
new roof.
well, so much stuff has been upgraded, right? And to your point about being better off in other communities, if you, there's nowhere to rather trade places with, right? I mean,
Yes.
we know what the problems are. We're actively addressing them. The fact that we're dropping $550K into road work now, right? We've consistently reinvested monies that were gifted to us by the state or federal government into long-term fixed assets that pay off in terms of quality of life for our residents. We're not out of the woods yet.
No, and that was not a knock to neighboring communities in any regard. It's just the fact that nothing is easy for anybody. Okay, inflation has destroyed municipalities, has destroyed family households, has destroyed a lot of things over the last few years. We are well aware of these things, and to Zeke's point, to Don, you bringing up a couple of the questions, and I'm glad we should be questioning everything. Quality of life, simplistic additions. I understand there's a cost to them, but an extended ADA fishing pier is something this community needs. We have handicapped individuals in this community that can't do the things that everybody else can do. It's a quality of life that's going to cost $60,000, and to me, that's worth it. When times are what they are, people are staying closer to home and doing things. We need to just kind of offer some more quality of life options. I think it's important.
Our outlook at the staff level is to try to create a community that people don't feel like they need to drive outside of its boundaries in order to find that quality of life, right? Whether we're talking about going out to a restaurant or a shopping opportunity. DPW committee for the finance committee's edification approved us relocating the 4 chalets that we picked up for the Christmas market last year. We're now going to turn them into year-round incubators over off of 1st and Main. So we'll have an opportunity for 4 micro-sized businesses to have a permanent roof over their business and an opportunity to sell right on Main Street to our residents. I know one lady in particular does a great job with sourdough bread, and she's out there, if not every Saturday, close to it, with a lot of customers waiting to buy her products. The hard part about being a community the size of Waterford is everybody expects like the big money to come in and fix the day. Like, that's not how it works. You have to home grow your own entrepreneurs and have them be able to leverage their cash income to make investments in the community. So step by step.
Zeke used to say, and I didn't even think Don said it about, I don't bring the kiosk back into it, but the individuals that come in and pay their utility bills here. So the last few months I've obviously been in this office more than I've ever been. The last 2 weeks have been really telling to me with individuals coming in and pay their water bills. There was an individual working up here that miscounted the change back, and the woman was very polite. She just said, "Oh, you shortchanged me 6 cents." And the employee said, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that." And the woman said, "I wasn't trying to be mean." She goes, "I'm to the point right now, 6 cents means everything to me." I mean, we are all living very well in this room, and there are individuals in our community that 6 cents means a lot to them. So we take all of this very seriously. I know there's a lot out there that we're spending and pissing money away and doing this and that, and that's really not the facts. I mean, there are a lot of people in this community that need their taxes to remain flat, even knowing we have to change. I mean, that was really eye-opening to me, 6 cents. Yeah. And we need to be inclusive to everybody we live with. There's people in $2 million homes living their lives as they should, and there's people that are worried about 6 cents in this community.
And everything in between. So going on to page 38 and 39, this is TID number 2. It is a terminated TID, so you're going to see 4 consecutive years of everything being zeroed out, and then you won't see this on your books anymore. So it was successfully paid off all the debt attributed to it.
Well managed TID.
Page 40 and 41 are TID district number 3. We're pulling in $2.42 million in transfers from special funds, so that's your East Main Street project money. You've got an increment of $923,000, so your total income is $3.43 million. Going down the line, you're essentially expensing developer incentives, some of which are in their last year of payout. as well as operating costs for some of the amenities that you have within your park. We have in here $180,000 for engineering for the bridge to cross the Fox River and the stage site. We have $25K to rehab the pathway around the Owl City Conservancy, and a little bit of a storage space in 10 Club Park.
Are we doing the bridge? What are we doing the bridge?
Engineering this year, construction the next year.
Sweet.
We'd like to, ideally we'll get this done before we do the bridge, and the bridge is under construction shortly after we're wrapping up construction here, so it's, hey, there's a bridge too
And
somewhere.
we have our loop completed.
Right. Well,
Well,
partly.
80%.
Right.
Trustee, where you'll need to attend a couple of DPW meetings if you have time to help get that to the finish line.
Let me know.
Okay.
There's, I think, a little bit of apprehension there about that pedestrian bridge.
So
What's the apprehension? Just curious.
It's just a lot of money for connectivity that is right here, and the bridge that was just replaced 5 or 6 years ago. They don't see the vision that maybe you see. I'm not saying they all don't, but your input would be helpful.
Well, it's more natural. Who wants to walk across the highway?
right.
And we had a wonderful resident send to me a potential grant that will help that project as well.
That'd be awesome. Thank you. I'll show up at a DPW.
Okay. So the last thing about the TID, and I just want to bring this up as the overall TID health. Your income continues to grow, and that's a positive. But much like with TID District number 2, you've reached a point that financially we are beginning to pull out some of the cost to actually manage that TID. If you think about all the time that we spend, Mike's time spent, Rick's time spent, my time spent, everybody that works in this organization, including the Finance Committee board. So we're now charging back to the TID those expenses to the tune of $140,000 a year. It probably does not cover the cost of what we've got into this thing. So the reason that is doubly important is that you have 5 years beginning in ending in 2040, and working back 5 years from there. We have 5 balloon payments that you have to make of an additional $1 million on your debt service, and this fund really needs to run to the positive. So you have a couple of one-time larger expenses in here for engineering and other items that won't be there in subsequent years. So while you can take charges out of this, it shouldn't be viewed as a piggy bank, nor be viewed as a sole means to defer responsibility to either generate other revenue sources or raise taxes. Yes, sir.
The idea is to end up like TID 2.
Right.
So it pays for itself, pays for the debt. So if TID 2 would have ended up more cost than what the debt was,
Right.
taxpayers would have to write the check.
Right.
Right, too, as long as we manage it correctly.
Give me 1 second here. Yep, got it right there. Okay. Moving on to page 42. This is TID District number 4. I would describe this TID as slightly underperforming. It was anticipated that the units in lofts number 2 would have sold more readily. The developer did not take advice of then Village President Don Houston Ryle on how to liquidate those. So while a couple of them have sold, it just is lagging slightly from where it needs to be. So with that said, we did succeed in selling off both of the ground floor units that the village did occupy, and so TID income will go up in 2027 as a result of the completion of the Baxter and Woodman project in downtown, and that'll be really helpful. We do have some interest income in this TID. Do expect that to drop in years ahead, but for now that looks to be about where that's going to pencil out. We contemplate a $1.1 million loan from CSB, as well as a $84,000 lease payment. That's just a placeholder. I fully expect that we bring in zero. That wasn't the reason I wrote it there. I wrote it there as a conversation point. So we have interest and expenses going out. The biggest one being renovation of fire station number 1 for subsequent leasing. Page 44 is your water fund. So within your water fund, we did get reached out to by PSC. They said it's been some time since you've done a rate increase. We're going to recommend that you take an abbreviated rate case. So we've incorporated a 3% rate increase into your water system, and we are doing a relatively hefty cash draw of impact fee funds. So your fund's going to run negative $576,000 this year. That's essentially paying for East Main Street in groundwork. You also have capital outlay from well number 6 in this year's budget also. Any other questions on water?
We can't do a 65% increase like we're going on?
No. No, that's what oh, I'll be quiet. Okay. For water capital, East Main and the well are the 2 large projects in there, and we have a small bit of money in capital on page 47 for engineering. Page 48 is your sewer system. We've had significant growth in rate payers here. There is an $11.34 base charge increase within the overall rate structure that helps us manage things out. Again, we have a giant cash outlay coming from impact fee funds, so your total pull for the year is $618,000. Cash position is still good. Yes, sir.
What percentage increase are we doing on the water side?
3.
So 3 on the water.
3 overall.
3 on the sewer.
No,
Or together.
I didn't do a percentage because it's just on the base for the beach base.
So it's very minimal anyway.
Yeah, minimal enough.
So you didn't do the.
I just didn't calculate a percentage for it. It's $11.34. I did the dollar on it.
11.34 for bill per
quarter.
unit or
Per quarter.
per quarter.
So the sewer system is continuing to receive repayment from the docks loan in an amount of $31,250. That's at 6% interest a year. If you flip a page, page 50 is a sum utility sheet. We use that for audit purposes. So it's just basically pulling together everything that I just talked to you about. Page 51, there is money allocated here for laterals. There's a placeholder of $250 for the vac truck you guys discussed last time. DPW has asked Rick to go look at the cost of a refurb versus a new unit on this. It will work in 2026 to get you those numbers. And he has to bring back any expenditure to DPW committee and board prior to authorization. So minimally, that truck needs a rebuild of the pump. It is an old truck, 25 years old. Let's get you the numbers and then we can make decisions. Page 52, you've got utility employees along with page 53. Some utility revenue sheet and your rate structure. So a bit of an odd anomaly if you look at the customer census, and that we retired a bunch of meters and we were in process of upgrading for the new census system. The one to pay attention to is that end of year count of 2766. So you've got 2,766 households / businesses that are utility customers in your community. Going over a page to page 56, your debt service amount has remained exactly the same the entire time that I've been here. So $595,395. We continue to transfer in impact fees as we receive them to pay for debts related to those various impact fees. And we use the cash within this account to do I'm going to call it a debt leveling. So you're pulling the fund down by $70,380 this year. It leaves you a debt service fund of $585,609. That's a buffer account for you should you have some kind of a massive emergency or need to smooth out a borrowing. That cash is there. Page 57 really is the meat and potatoes of your debt structure, and the rest are just subordinate debt sheets showing each individual borrower's amortization schedule. So if you're looking at this sheet, the one that I'll call out is the one that's general purposes, and what's useful to understand about this is 25, 26, and 27, your debt service is in the ballpark of $730,000, and it drops down to about $400,000 until 2035, where it drops down again to $176-ish thousand principal and interest. So we had Kevin Mullen run the numbers at 5%, and you can borrow about $4 million out to 2045 without raising your taxes. So that's what's contemplated for borrowing in this coming year, which means that you can continue to manage at that $595,000 assessed rate, still leaving yourself a buffer of $585,000 in your debt service account should you have something pop up. But you will need to contemplate other borrows as increases. It's also part of why we're saying you need to go to referendum on your streets.
I just can't see taxes being frozen for 20 years.
They've been frozen for 8.
I know that.
So you need alternate revenue streams, or you need a serious conversation about how you're going to handle
Are
taxes.
you able to do a formula where it shows maybe like a 1% tax over the years, just to see what that column would look like?
Andy, the state has a levy limit. We work our budget backwards from a levy
I
limit.
get that, but
We can only charge so much. The only way you can raise taxes is through debt, borrowing on roads or whatever, that you have an option to do. That's a
I hate
state
it.
mandated levy limit.
So
It is what it is, Andy.
Act 10,
Just doesn't make-
Every community's
it, still,
got the same.
it handcuffs you with inflation. It just handcuffs.
right now, Act 10 is
Well, you
working
better go
its
call
way.
your representatives.
It's working its way through the court. There is a good chance that with the way the Supreme Court election went last go around, that Act 10 gets repealed and that levy limits go away. Until then, Don's
We're just
point
like
about
it handcuffs. It's just.
Andy, it's all based upon growth. It's all.
Well, I know. Well,
The
we've
idea
done
is
the
you're
growth,
supposed to
but well, this is
And we have
a
raised
bigger
taxes for
political
the growth.
discussion, so I'll be quiet on it. But it just, I don't like how it handcuffs local. After doing this for 10 years, I was all for it,
Andy,
but now I'm just like, this
Andy,
is
we don't
handcuffing
make the
you.
rules, we just have to follow them.
I know, I get it. I'm just,
Sorry.
from a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense. You're supposed to keep up with the cost of inflation when you're running a business.
Well, not only that, prepare for chemical expenses that you know are going to rise. A new air conditioner, a new roof, a new fire truck. I mean, I've been saying that for a decade.
so the rest of your sheets are subordinated debt sheets. I don't need to go over those with you.
Can I throw something out really quick?
Sure.
Just hypothetically, because you got Tom Tiffany saying he's going to get rid of state, local taxes, local property taxes. If that happens, do we have a plan?
The state will need to tell us what we're doing.
Would that be like a local sales tax?
The state will need to tell us what we're doing.
I mean, because it's a great political thing. I mean, but what do we do if that happens? I mean, I just want to plant that seed, because if he repeals property taxes, where does that put us?
It will either make all the local governments creatures of the state, and the state will give us state aid to manage however it is they choose to give us, just like the school districts get state aid. It might be per individual state aid. It might be, who knows?
Well, that's why I think the Howard.
I wouldn't
That's
worry
why
about it till it
my head
happens.
was spinning with like, we got to do what Howard's doing if that happens.
Andy, first of all, you're gonna be in the same position as
Everybody else.
And second of all, you can't take away a tax source without having to
A replacement.
Oh, yeah,
replace it
that's
for
my
the
point.
state.
What's that
So the state
replacement?
would either have to raise the sales tax, which most other states and stuff have higher sales tax and lower property tax.
Yeah.
It would be a different way of funding it, but yes, we would have to, instead of getting it from the local taxpayers, the state would have to supplement it. So you'd still have to have those funds.
But now you're a child of the state asking for your handout.
Anyway,
So that's your budget in a nutshell. This gets you really close to a balanced budget. You're moving some pieces around to achieve that. Longer term, you have to look at alternate revenue streams. You have to look at investing in real estate and leasing that property. You have to look at additional docks. Within our public works crews, we talk about contracting out streets work using the skills and talents that we're developing, possible future equipment acquisitions. We're talking about doing trees as a way to use the village's land mass better, and we're talking about other ways to monetize your park properties. So whatever we can do, we're working to do, and we'll bring it
You
forward.
got to get that concession stand coming sooner than later, and not for the winter, but. And the other thing, can we like extend the Monday night thing instead of just stopping at Labor Day?
We're talking about that too.
I mean, because we have our Indian summers. I don't,
Yeah, we're talking about that too, and maybe having some other contract partners come in to help with that. Okay. Any other questions, comments on the budget to staff? Anything you guys want to discuss?
All right, then Zeke, I think you kind of dovetailed number 2 in there a little bit. What'd you say? What's your discussion on the borrowing? You don't want to
Yeah, I
revisit
done that one. I was already
Okay. Are you just looking for
recommendation
recommendation
for
of this
approval on the village
presentation
board.
and send it off to the other electeds to debate? And
Yes, sir.
Pick apart.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Something else? Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion or comments, questions? We're gonna lump number 2 as it would have been in with number 1 there, since we did that. So this is all going together, 1 and 2. All right.
Can you, excuse me, what do you mean lump it 1 and 2?
He's
Okay.
dispensing with item number 2 along with
I was-
item number 1 because I already went over it as
We'll
part of item
take
number
We'll
one.
take 2 votes.
So,
Alright.
so we're not taking any decision on borrowing or
Right.
anything,
Yeah. No.
We'll just take 2 votes as their word.
Okay.
So, motion and a second, and I did not hear any other questions or comments on item number 1. All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, then we'll move on to the board for review. Looking for a motion to do the exact same thing with item number 2.
Item number 2's discussion is relaying information on how much you could borrow. That's what's included in the packet there.
There is no borrowing, it's what you could borrow.
Right, it's what you
Yep.
could borrow without raising taxes.
I think
So
that's,
it's just for information.
It's
Yeah, I think
just
it-
informational.
the word future defines that.
Yeah.
So moved.
So no motion was necessary? Or there is a motion necessary?
We're gonna take a
To move it
motion.
forward?
But
Yep.
just
Okay.
advise the village board of it. I
We're
think
just
it's a
gonna-
fine motion.
For whatever the
All right.
confusion was, we're just gonna do a motion,
All
a
right,
second, and a
so-
vote, one way or the other on item
The
number 2.
motion,
So what is the motion?
All this motion is we're making a motion to advise the board that there's X amount available to borrow.
Correct, that's
for
why I was trying to lump them
2025.
together and just make it simple, so
Yeah,
yes,
no,
we,
Alright.
keep it, come on.
well, I'm trying, trust me.
That's a
Trust
good
me,
motion.
I wish it would
Thank
be
you,
a
so
lot
I
easier.
didn't know,
Yeah.
yeah, so you need to know what the motion is.
Yeah, so that's the
I
motion.
greatly appreciate the clarity, and I thought it was,
Does that seg well enough? There we go.
That's perfect.
okay,
did you
so,
second,
yes.
did you second?
That sounds like that was his second, yes.
Okay.
Is that your second?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, if I didn't know if I was making the motion or making the second.
Perfect, I heard
I
Andy
did,
motion,
yeah.
you
Okay.
clarified it. I'm gonna ask, since we have a first and a second, is everybody understanding what we're voting on here for number 2?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any other questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.